Last Hoorah! This is a term I've coined, no pun intended, a long time ago. It's Bitcoin and crypto's final parabolic cycle before regulations put a chokehold on the asset class or a full-on economic collapse tears everything down. So when will the last hoorah begin? What will cause it? What is it going to look like? We'll find out the answer to those questions in just over 10 minutes because it's time for chicocrypto. Last hoorah, when will it begin? Well, to know that, we first need to gauge when this bear cycle's Bitcoin bottom will arrive, as the last hoorah begins after the Bitcoin bottom. And I've already predicted this all the way back in May based on Bitcoin's previous cycles. Let's watch now of when I think this Bitcoin bottom will arrive. Based on averages of the top to bottom length, 164 days, 417 days, and 370 days, we get 317 days. If the peak was 69K set November 10th, 2011, 317 days after this would put us at a bottom for this cycle happening September 23rd, 2022. Based on the previous cycle's peak prices to bottom prices, I predicted this cycle's Bitcoin bottom would arrive in late September. As of today, that is only 58 days away, less than 2 months. And a negative red September makes sense based on monthly history. As we can see from Bitcoin performance by month throughout its history, September is notoriously bad for Bitcoin. Since 2011, 8 of the 11 Septembers have been red, 73% of the time. And the average drawdown when it is a red September is 12.5%. So what will the price of Bitcoin be at this bottom? Well, I also predicted this in my video back in May based on the previous cycles. Let's listen in. The percent fall from the top to bottom is decreasing with each cycle. From 94% to 87% is a decrease of 7%. From 87% to 84% is 3%. I think taking an average of those two numbers is a better way to analyze this data, which would be 5% from the last fall of 84%, or a 79% decrease for this cycle. That would mean the price this cycle and Bitcoin bottom would be about $14,500. The Bitcoin bottom price will be around $14,500 and come around September 23rd of this year. But I like to take a holistic view of this bottom, and there was one on-chain metric I didn't analyze in that video. This on-chain metric is Bitcoin's realized price, and from this article we can see what the realized price is. Realized price measures the average price at which each Bitcoin in circulation was last bought. In other words, it measures the market's cost basis. This is a very influential level because it establishes the barrier between profitability and losses. And checking out the realized price chart throughout Bitcoin's history, we can see generally Bitcoin is above it. However, during deep market sell-offs towards the end of the bear market, the price of Bitcoin falls below realized price, though not far below it and not for long. So, realized price is a great indicator of the nearing bottom. So what has happened in previous cycles? Well, The Rational Root on Twitter has a great chart which shows the realized price and how long Bitcoin stayed below it during the previous cycles, including this one. In 2014, we can see BTC was below the realized price for a substantial amount of time. There were a few attempts of a breakout above it, but they failed. Adding up the total time under realized price, we come to 274 days. 9 months BTC was under this important metric. In the 2018 bear trend, Bitcoin was under the realized price for a much shorter time, only 133 days before it jumped back above it and stayed above it. And then for this bear trend in 2022, we dipped below the realized price on June 13th and spent 35 days below. But by July 19th, we were above it and spent a little less than a week above it. Although, as of this week, we have once again dipped below the realized price, which is a sign we haven't hit the true bottom, and this bear trend isn't over. So are we going to spend 133 days or even 274 more days under this realized price like the cycles before? Well, actually no, I think it's going to be much shorter, as there is a trend there. Days below realized price is decreasing with each cycle. 2014 days under realized price was 274. 2018 days below the price was 133. That is a reduction from cycle to cycle of basically 50%. I think we will once again have a reduction of days under realized price, but not by 50% again. I'm thinking more like 35%. A 35% reduction from the last cycle's 133 days is 86 days under realized price for this cycle. So we just spent 35 days under realized price up to July 19th and just dipped back below it as of yesterday. That means we have 51 more days to go under the realized price. Guess where that would put this Bitcoin bottom based on realized price? Around September 15th of this year, close to my original prediction of September 23rd. So based on my Tyler analysis,
line here, line there, lines everywhere,
we can assume the market bottom is coming sometime in September, leading us up into the Last Hoorah, the final parabolic cycle. So now let's talk about the reason I think there will be another parabolic Bitcoin cycle. But before we get into that, it's time for a quick mention about the sponsor of this video, Pluto. And like always, the full details of our arrangement are down in the description. Pluto is a newly launched reserve currency and protocol that prioritizes steady value growth, providing users a way to earn a passive income even during harsh bear markets. Pluto is backed by the funds of its treasury, designed in a way to protect the Pluto token price from extreme volatility, staying within a predictable price range called the backed price and the max price. Now, Pluto is just getting started, and you can participate in two ways. First is onboarding. This is where users provide stablecoins or LP tokens to help fund the treasury and in return receive Pluto tokens, locking them for a short period while earning huge amounts of APY. Additionally, users can also stake their tokens on their website with no lockup, earning even more yield. To learn how to onboard and stake simultaneously, make sure to join the Pluto Telegram for active discussions and answers to questions. And make sure to visit the Pluto website and follow them on Twitter. Links can be found down in the description. So, why will there be a Last Hoorah and final parabolic cycle? Well, first we got to talk about Tether USDT, as it's the blood of the crypto markets. And it seems like they aren't going anywhere and will be around for one more cycle. Everyone was getting worried that Tether would collapse due to the contagion of Terra Luna, Celsius, and more. But if you look at on-chain data, Tether has recovered and has once again retained their dollar peg after months of being below it, which has caused redemptions to peter out. Tether had mass redemptions during the Terra Luna collapse and Celsius debacle that reduced its market cap from over 83 billion to about 66 billion. But as we can see, over the past months, there hasn't been any redemptions of major size. As much as I don't like Tether, as much as I know they're unbacked, and as much as I think they will cause a mass collapse of crypto, if you want another parabolic cycle, Tether has to stick around for now. But over the next few years, their time may be running out as regulators zero in. Regulators! Mount up! And that's what we have to talk about next regarding the Last Hoorah, regulations that could be coming, which will hinder cryptocurrency's growth. Will they come before this Last Hoorah begins, or will they come later, allowing the floodgates to reopen? Well, regarding stablecoins like Tether, there was supposed to be stablecoin regulation being voted on soon. but that has been delayed. From this Wall Street Journal article, we can see bipartisan bill to regulate stablecoin is delayed for at least several weeks. And the article states, U.S. House lawmakers are delaying consideration of a bipartisan bill to curb potential risks posed by so-called stablecoins, according to people familiar with the matter, pushing back a vote on the measure for at least several weeks. That likely delays consideration of the package until at least September, when Congress is expected to return from its late summer break. A vote on this in September once again leads to a reason for the Bitcoin bottom. But will we have stablecoin regulation implemented if this bill is voted on and passed in September? No, my friends. This is just a bill going through the House. The Senate needs to vote on it next. The President needs to sign it. And then it's implemented sometimes a year or two later. And if we go back to the article, we can see there are some people against it. The article says, but some regulatory officials and bankers grew uneasy at the speed with which the bill's supporters had planned to vote on the measure in committee. The Independent Community Bankers of America, an influential lobbying force on Capitol Hill, on Friday called on Ms. Waters to delay consideration of the bill, citing the need for input from bankers and other stakeholders. Officials at the Securities and Exchange Commission and other regulators had also lodged concerns about the draft bill. So this bill has some work to do, and I wouldn't expect any stablecoin regulation to be implemented until at the very least 2024. But what about other regulations, like Joe Biden's executive order on crypto? Well, as we can see from the executive order, it was released on March 9th, and the order states, within 1 year of the date of the establishment of the framework required by Section 8BI of this order, key government agencies shall submit a report to the President on priority actions taken under the framework and its effectiveness. This report shall be coordinated through the interagency process described in Section 3 of this order. Next year, next March, agencies will have their reports on crypto ready for the President, and then they will put forward priority actions needed to effectively regulate crypto. That means drafting bills, voting on bills, getting them signed. So I would expect these laws not to come into effect until the very least, once again, 2024. 2024 or even later for regulation, this will allow time for one last hoorah. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.